Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Zvezda. So this kit comes in 1/35 scale, but it copies quite an unusual vehicle. It's a racing truck, and we have here KAMAZ-43509. So it's the truck which participated in Paris-Dakar series, and now we have a commercial sample, so it was bought with help of your donations, and now we are going to take a closer look in what is actually included here. And kit number is 3657. I have to note that the box art is quite impressive here. You can see it with your own eyes. As for the box size, it's a typical sizing for such kit from Zvezda, so here is comparison with my hand. And also on the side here, as usual, you'll find some information about the kit, also paint numbers which will be necessary for this project. And I can see that there are 275 parts which should assemble into a vehicle with 21 centimeter length. It's in 1/35 scale, as you remember. And on the opposite side, or on the rear side, you can see the short history note, again some information about the kit, and of course the pictures of the finished model. So, of course, the finished kit looks really great, and this is actually out of the box build, so I guess some aftermarket producers will add even more, but we will have to stay tuned in order to see what will be actually copied with their help. And as usual, box is sealed with the tape. As you can see, it's easy to open because it was somehow opened in my case, but in your case it should be shut. And now I'm going to open it right now, so just give me a moment. This color printed box actually is quite thin. What is protecting all the parts is this brown box. And here, if I open it, we have all the parts filled up to the top. So as you can see, it's quite packed, I would say, box. We also have parts separated into separate sealed bags. So we will be opening them one by one. And of course, I will have to move this box out of the camera so that we can start with a clear sprue, which is packed into a Ziploc bag together with decals and also with the special chrome decals or stickers for the side mirrors. But first, let's start with the clear sprue, as I said. So here you can see the clear parts. Let's zoom in. So now you can see that here we have all the necessary glasses for the front cap. Of course, we also have the lenses for the headlamps and also this special light on the front. So everything is included here. I'm not sure about the masks because usually Zvezda does not include masks or masking templates, so you have to get some aftermarket or maybe cut it with your own hands and tools. I would rather recommend to get the aftermarket so that you can be, let's say, a bit quicker with the overall application. Next, we continue with the decals and chrome stickers. So here we can zoom in even more. So these chrome stickers are for the side mirrors, as I said, nothing special. It's a traditional bonus for Zvezda kits. While this decals with the Red Bull logo, they will be used on the truck, obviously. I wonder why they are included separately. We will see it further in the review because maybe there is one more separate decal set. Obviously, there should be more symbols. Next, we have 6 vinyl tires, which are packed into a Ziploc bag as well. Here, as far as you can see, these are typical vinyl parts, so I will show it in a second. Here you can see one of the tires. Of course, all 6 are absolutely identical, so there is no point in showing them one by one. As you can see, we have some features on the tire walls. We have really nice tire pattern, but here, if I flip it over, you can see that we also have the creases on the tire walls. I guess that's due to the packaging, so that's not that cool in my opinion. And of course, if you would like to have better details on your model, then definitely go for resin replacement, which will offer you more features in such scale. Next, I'm opening another plastic bag, so just give me a second. It will require maybe even the knife, because here we have to cut through. Okay, so first cut, and here's the second cut. Okay. So here we start with gray plastic parts. Just give me a second to take it out. First of all, I would like to start with this large sprue. Maybe we zoom out so that you can understand what we are actually dealing here with. So these are truck panels, and as you remember, this truck has a boxy structure, so that's carefully copied by the manufacturer, and that's what you have to combine together, all these panels, in order to get the rear section. That's actually the roof of the front cap, obviously. We also have the wheel fenders with the mud guards. And also I can see some of the suspension parts, some of the subframe parts here and there. So let's zoom in so that you can see all this stuff closer. Here you can take a closer look. So really good that all these subframings are molded as a single piece sections. So it means you won't have to deal with separate bars or separate tubes. You just get the necessary section, combine it together with another one, and you get more or less proper part treatment. Also here you can see that we have nice surface details, so all of this stuff really deserves a careful and nice paint work, because otherwise you won't be able to bring out all the features. And if I flip it over, here inside you can see that we have some guiding elements for this large panel, so you shouldn't be worried that it will be a bit problematic to combine them together. It's more of, I would say, time-consuming work, but it should be done easily because we have all the necessary elements which will be helpful during this process. Next we continue with the two identical plastic sprues. So here we have quite an interesting stuff, because these are the parts for the suspension. And also, just give me a second, because as far as I can see my box is falling. I don't know why, but it's just going down. Okay, so now it should be better. As I said, we have here the wheel rims, we also have suspension parts, we also have the driver and actually front seats. As you can see, they're molded as a single piece parts, and that's actually a quite nice design. So all of this should look good in 1/35 scale. So if I zoom in here, you can take a closer look. Maybe we'll place this sprue like this so that you can see the whole end. The suspension looks nicely detailed. Wheel rims are also good, and of course with such design you can paint them separately and then just install into the vinyl tires. But it's up to you. As I said before, maybe it would be a wiser idea to get the resin replacement, which will bring more features and it will be more realistic in appearance. But again, it will also cost you extra money, so the final decision is after you. Next, we continue with the bigger plastic sprues. Here we have the drivetrain, it means the engine and gearbox. We also have the wheel axles and few tanks here. So everything looks really good, and it's quite surprising that Zvezda decided to include the whole power plant here. As you can see, it's quite detailed for its own scale, and of course you can add some wiring in order to have even more impressive engine. But even out of the box, I think it will look good. So here you can see also some of the additional suspension parts and drivetrain parts. And here we have wheel axles. And if I flip it over, here in the engine house, you can see that we have some guiding elements. So again, it should be relatively easy to combine all this stuff together. And maybe it would be a wise idea to think how to do or to make this section exposable so that it will be visible on the finished model, because otherwise it would be a shame to hide such thing under the front cap. So I'm just taking a closer look myself. I can see that we have a lot of pre-molded features. So for now, while I will be opening another plastic bag, you can take a closer look at the pre-molded features. In my opinion, they look really impressive. And they actually show what can be achieved with the modern technology, because all of this stuff could not be, let's say, molded or pre-molded before, when we were getting the several years ago, when we were getting various race truck kits or maybe some race car kits. Okay, so next we continue with another plastic bag. Here I will have to zoom out because we have again a really large sprue, and it is dedicated to the front cap parts. And again, front cap is quite kind of boxy because we have the typical KAMAZ styling, so that's why you have all the panels molded separately. Note that the doors here, they're also molded separately, so it might be a good idea to open them on your truck in order to expose what is inside. But again, it's after you, whether you would like to show what is inside your truck or maybe you would like to focus on the external features. Note that we have the whole safety cage nicely copied. We also have the door cards as separate parts, And maybe I will zoom in so that you can see, for example, the steering wheel. It looks like a sports steering wheel, just like on the actual truck. We also have the separate window frame. And here we continue with the side panels and separate doors. Note that the doors also have the separate handles, so opening handles here. Next we continue with the front mask and the rear panel, which is actually the top area of the rear panel. I like that the front mask has the pre-molded KAMAZ logo, so here we continue also with the door cards and various minor elements for the engine. We also have this air conditioning system, and next we continue with various panels for the front cap. So again, I really like that we have some openable parts. I'm not sure if they will be actually marked as openable or, let's say, which can be assembled in two positions in the assembly manual, but still it's really good and it gives you a possibility to play with the overall look of your model. Next we continue with large subframe bars. So they are also coming as a single piece parts, as you can see, and that's really great. As you can see, they are molded together with the leaf springs, so it's just a matter of combining them together. Here we have the front guard and also the, I guess these are wheel rims for spare wheels maybe. Also we have the various panels for the air conditioning system. I can see more bars for the safety cage. So a lot of things are nicely copied, and I think Zvezda actually took benefit of this 135 scale sizing, and they did great work in copying all of this stuff. But that's not all, obviously. So we have also the, well, it's safety advices, nothing special. Next we continue with the marking guide, and with the marking guide it was interesting if they will copy only one marking option or several of them, and as far as you can see they will copy only one number, track number. So I will show it in a second. Here it is. It is printed in color, so really great because it will give you a better understanding on how to paint your model. And here on the rear side we have a track number 509, and this one was also 509, so yeah. And next, of course, nobody stops you from getting some, let's say, aftermarket numbers, placing them on your model, and then you have a different marking option. Next, we continue with the decals. These are, I would say, quite impressive. So here you can see that we have decals actually. There is no segmentation, but they are printed in special sections for each side of the truck. So this is really cool. Note that they will have to be multi-layered, because as far as you can see, for example, here we should have the Red Bull logo, and as for you remember, it was printed separately. And the same applies to this VTB and also some other sponsors which are placed on the truck. This is quite cool design in my opinion, and of course it will make it easier and quicker to copy the quite complex marking of this truck. But that's not all, of course. We should also know how to assemble it, so that's why we need this assembly manual. Here I will close the lenses maybe even more, so that you can see what is actually printed here. We have short history note on the first page. We also have some safety advices on how to build it. And next we continue with the parts map. So as usual, Zvezda does not show what is unused in this spruce, so that's why pay attention and use the right parts. I guess there will be maybe some spare ones. Assembly process starts with an engine, and straight away manufacturer gives some suggestions on how to paint this or that section of the part, so pay attention to this. And as I said, it might be a wise idea to add some wiring here as well. You can find easily the actual photos of the real engine in the internet, so it won't be a problem. Then gradually we move on to the cockpit. So here you have to assemble first the steering column together with the instrument panel here. Next we continue with the, I guess that's the PC, the central console, and also we start assembling the safety cage, which is, as you remember, assembled out of separate sections, so that's why it will be rather easy to get it all together. And then, as you can see, it gets enclosed into the front cap panel, so basically you just place them on the top. Note that the Here we have the clear part, and manufacturer suggests to paint the seals. So this one will be a bit tricky because manufacturer does not provide the masks, as you remember, so it might be a good idea to find some aftermarket now, which will help you with this task. And next we continue with the external panels or bars which are placed on the front cap. Then we start working on the main frame, which is also quite interesting to assemble because, as you can see, each bar should be actually glued out of 2 halves because of its thickness. And also we start working on the rear drivetrain. Here, as far as you can see, we also start adding the front protection for the engine and also, or a skid plate maybe. And next we continue with the various suspension parts. So as far as you can see, a lot of stuff will be actually copied here. That's the question, how to show it on the finished model, so it will be a bit tricky. And next we continue with the wheel fenders, with the mudguards. Here we start working on the... So that's actually the rear panel of the front cap, as far as you can see. Or no, it's actually the rear panel of the rear box. So it gets installed beforehand, and then you start working on the side panels, and here you apply all of this stuff together, and then you just install the front cap. Note that manufacturer does not show the possibility to open the front cap, and also does not show the possibility to open the front doors, even though they were molded separately. And as I was saying, you can open them if you would like to. It would look natural because the door hinges are pre-molded. So this stuff should be already available. You can get it on official Zvezda website or maybe in any good model shop. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a list. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.